In a small coastal town, whispers of betrayal are as common as the sound of waves crashing against the shore. This is a story of second chances, where hope intertwines with despair, and one man's dark past threatens to unravel his quest for redemption. Meet James Turner, a man with a tumultuous history behind bars. After serving 5 long years for a crime he didn't commit, James returned to his hometown, hoping to reclaim a life marred by past mistakes. The quaint village, with its charming cottages and friendly faces, seemed like a perfect backdrop for a fresh start. But beneath the surface of this idyllic town lay resentment and distrust. As he sought employment, James faced a barrage of rejection. The townsfolk, having heard of his past, were hesitant to give him a chance. Most avoided eye contact, whispering amidst themselves as he walked by. It felt as though his return was a dark shadow looming over their peaceful lives. Yet, undeterred, James persevered and found work at a local fishing shop, where the owner, Mr. Larson, believed in his potential. Despite his struggles, James began to forge meaningful relationships. He befriended Sarah, a kind-hearted waitress at a nearby diner, who offered him companionship and understanding. Their talks over coffee became a source of strength for him, a glimpse of the normalcy he craved. However, lurking behind the facade of camaraderie was the specter of betrayal, one that would soon darken James's doorstep. One rainy evening, as James returned home from work, he received a call that would change everything. The voice on the other end was shaky, filled with urgency. It was his ex-cellmate, Mark, still locked away in a maximum security prison. He had critical information about a conspiracy surrounding James's wrongful conviction. Heart racing, James was thrust back into a nightmare he thought he had left behind. "James, I know who set you up," Mark revealed. The words echoed in his mind, igniting a fire within. James thought of the faces in town. Was it someone he knew? Someone he had trusted? Paranoia crept in, blurring his understanding of whom to trust. In a twist of fate, he learned that it was one of his closest allies in prison who had orchestrated the betrayal that had cost him 5 precious years. With every detail Mark provided, James felt the emotional toll weigh heavier. As betrayal seeped into his reality, his budding friendships began to crumble under the pressure of suspicion. Sarah noticed his growing paranoia. She urged him to let go, to focus on healing. Yet the darkness of betrayal wrapped around him, twisting his thoughts. The climax unfolded at a town meeting where tensions reached a boiling point. James stood before his community, the very people he had yearned to win over, ready to expose the truth. Courage welled up inside him as he shared his story, revealing the deceit that had stitched his fate. His voice quivered, but filled the room with a raw honesty that grabbed their attention. But in that fervor for justice, he realized that seeking revenge would only lead him down a destructive path. Betrayal, while painful, didn't have to dictate his future. Instead of vengeance, he had a choice. As whispers subsided and silence filled the hall, James extended an olive branch to those who had judged him. "I forgive those who doubted me," he stated firmly. "Forgiveness is the only way to reclaim my life." The room held its breath as people exchanged glances, absorbing the weight of his words. It was a moment of clarity, not only for James, but for the community that stood before him. Slowly, the townsfolk began to reconsider their judgments. They recognized the strength and vulnerability, and the power of forgiveness. The walls built by betrayal began to crumble, and in their place, a bridge of understanding was formed. In the days that followed, James found healing in unexpected places. His relationship with Sarah deepened, grounded in trust and shared experiences. The townsfolk began to see him as a person, not a label. They offered him support, helping him to heal from the wounds of his past. James learned that betrayal could either consume or liberate. Through forgiveness, he discovered a path forward, not just for himself, but for others around him. His story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that darkness can often cloud our judgment, yet light can emerge from the depths of despair. In a world where betrayal lurks in unexpected corners, let us remember, it's in the act of forgiving that we find our true strength and the power to rebuild our lives.